There's a new generation of apps that feel like Tinder for kids, and they're not being treated with the caution they deserve. TV. You probably remember being bored online as a kid and thinking, oh, I'll get a phone someday. Well, the world has moved fast around you. Now there are dozens of social and chat apps aimed at teens, or that kids can get into anyway. Wizz, Wink, Yubo, Kick, Hoop, LMK, Spot a Friend, and probably 100 other clones. Some of those apps are basically anonymous, location-aware chat rooms marketed to people under 18, and that combination is risky. Apps like Wizz market themselves as a place to meet friends nearby. They're swipeable, location-aware, and often let users chat with near strangers with minimal friction. That model scales fast. You get instant matches, immediate dopamine, and a sense of connection. The problem is the same features that make them fun also make them dangerous, especially when age verification is poor and location data is involved. The result is that children can be contacted by adults who can misrepresent their age, and that's not just theory, it's actually playing out in the news. There have been multiple news reports in the last year linking Wizz to cases where adults met minors through the platform and harmed them. Local reporting has tracked prosecutions and charges where suspects first contacted victims on apps marketed to teens. Those cases underline a design failure. An app that lets strangers locate and message minors with weak age checks is a public safety nightmare, not just some kind of youth trend. This pattern has historical echoes. Omegle, a random video chat site built on anonymity, shut down after years of abuse and a lawsuit tied to exploitation through the platform. And that shutdown wasn't just a fluke. Government watchdogs have been warning about the design for years. Yik Yak, the anonymous location-based message board that first flared up in the mid-2010s, proved how quickly local, anonymous posting can fuel harassment and abuse on campus. It was shut down, relaunched, and remains controversial to this day. The tech cycles, but the underlying risks repeat. It's not just the new swipe apps. Platforms many parents think are harmless, like Discord, AI companion sites, and AI chatbots, have documented problems as well. Discord's rapid pandemic-era growth strained moderation resources. The platform has published transparency reports and is facing lawsuits alleging it facilitated exploitation. And AI chat services that offer emotional companionship are being forced to add age restrictions because teens form intense bonds with bots and sometimes access inappropriate content. These problems aren't theoretical. Like, courts and companies are actively responding. There are three recurring technical culprits in all of these situations. Poor age verification. Many apps rely on self-reported ages or weak AI checks that kids and adults can bypass. You're just begging to have an adult pretend to be a teenager. Anonymity and ephemerality. Messages that disappear and users without persistent identities removes accountability and makes abuse easier. And location features. Hyper-local discovery, like finding friends nearby, is useful for meeting classmates, but it also lets predators find kids close to them. Combined, these things create the worst possible user experience for children. And these are design choices. And design choices have consequences. There's also a cultural change. When you and I were growing up, many kids didn't have phones until late high school. Today, children get devices at much younger ages and are told to be connected as part of a normal social life. Marketing teams have weaponized FOMO. If your kid isn't on the newest app, they'll feel excluded. That pressure pushes parents toward fast, reactive solutions instead of slow, steady relationship work, and companies aren't incentivized to fix that emotional gap. I want to be clear, calling these apps dangerous is not meant to be like a moral panic. There are real, documented harms, but most kids will never encounter predators. They encounter a confusing mix of peer pressure, bullying, and accidental exposure to adult content. The right response is pragmatic and keep kids safer without pretending connection is inherently evil. If you're a parent watching, here's something that might actually help. Don't ban everything and expect magic. Explain and enforce boundaries, where devices can be used, what apps are allowed, and who they can talk to. Lock app installs behind a parental approval. Use the iOS or Android parental controls to require your OK before new apps are added. Check the account settings and location services on your child's phone, and disable any location sharing for social apps. Keep devices out of bedrooms at night. These are proven low-tech ways to reduce risk. And talk openly. Don't try to lecture your kids, but try to keep an ongoing conversation with them about online pressures and how to handle strangers. Reality matters far more than fear. These are just some practical habits, not performative gestures. They reduce harm without making kids secretive or suspicious. There's movement on the policy side as well. Lawsuits, regulatory pressure, and companies adding age checks and safety features. Some platforms are adding stricter verification or limiting minors' access to risky features. Others are being sued, and courts are taking platform design into account. But regulation lags innovation. That's why caregivers can't rely only on policy. You still need to manage household rules. AI companions and chatbots complicated the landscape further. Providers promise teen-safe versions, but age verification is imperfect, and people find ways around it. Legislators are already moving to restrict or regulate AI companions for minors because of mental health risks and the potential for harmful content. This is a fast-moving area. Expect more changes and more corner cases before it settles. Looking back, entire generations grew into adulthood without a constant social feed. They made friends, learned boundaries, and survived peer pressure. That doesn't mean we can or should completely rewind the clock, but it does mean that we can reject the idea that constant connection is necessary for healthy childhood development. Parents can model and teach offline social skills as deliberately as they teach math or reading. These apps are a product problem and a parenting problem. The industry monetizes engagement. The family is the unit that manages safety. If you're a parent, your job includes being fluent about the apps your kids are using. If you're a creator or a friend, don't normalize every new app. Ask the question, why does this exist and who's benefiting from it? If we stop treating attention as an automatic good, and if parents insist on simple, enforceable rules, we can make kids' online lives less hazardous without draconian bans.